Close them down because you helped once, Mr. President, Congress. And we're locking down again. So you better help us again. You know, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, and even the Republicans, I guess a little bit as well. Everybody in Congress, all of them, have really kind of dug in their heels along partisan lines on this. And they refused throughout the summer and throughout the fall to get a stimulus passed. They didn't really extend a lot of these benefits, and we certainly did not get second checks. And so is part of the motivation, or as often has been said before, never let a crisis go to waste, is part of the reason we're seeing this extra push in lockdowns to facilitate and to gain support for a second stimulus bill, extension of unemployment, extension of rent forgiveness, student loans, all these things that we saw during the first relief bill. And potentially now, with a Democratic president and maybe a Democratic majority in both the House and the Senate. This is Governor Whitmer of Michigan on Sunday doing a live press conference, letting everyone know that their state, our state, my state, is going into an additional lockdown. No dining, high schools closed. This is not unique to Michigan. This is happening everywhere. This was live at her press conference. We're going to watch it together. I just want you to listen to a little bit as she does talk about what is happening and the impact on the economy and the need for the federal government to step in. Is one hand forcing the other? Let's take a look, and you guys can decide.
Beating this virus once and for all and protecting American lives and livelihoods will require more action than just state governments alone and people can take. I know that the action of my administration today will save lives and will have a positive impact on families and frontline workers, and ultimately our small businesses will be impacted. We're working to make sure that we help through this moment. But we need help from the federal government as well. Through these tough times, we need more leadership at the federal level so we can make it through this winter. It's going to be a tough winter.
We need help from the federal government. This is going to be a long, hard winter. How are they predicting the future? Maybe it's because they control it.
For 4% of the world's population, and yet we also account for 20% of the world's COVID cases and 20% of the world's fatalities. We as a nation have got to come together to fight this virus. As the president prepares to leave office, part of his legacy will be determined and shaped by these last 66 days. President Trump has an opportunity to meet the needs of the people of this country and extend life-saving support to Americans everywhere. And I hope that he and Leader McConnell and Speaker Pelosi can deliver a recovery package, help for unemployed workers, small business assistance, support for locally owned restaurants and all restaurant workers, and resources to give our kids the educational support that they need. This stimulus is critical for our families and good for our economy. Now remember, the reason that our economy came back as strong as it did was because we had an aggressive plan and federal support in the early months of this pandemic. They did it once and it worked. Now we need help again. Every single one of us.
They did it once and it worked. They helped us before. They need to help us again. And look at the jab that she took at Trump regarding that. It's your legacy, sir. The next 63 days and what you do or don't do related to the second stimulus will be your legacy. And deaths will be on your hands. So maybe this will get us our second stimulus. Maybe all of these lockdowns are required. Some conspiracy theorists would say that the lockdowns may actually be required to get that stimulus through. And so maybe that's why they're happening, because they couldn't get the stimulus done as things were improving. And so now we've got a rapid spike in cases, and we're going to lock everything down again. Close them down because you helped once, Mr. President, Congress, and we're locking down again. So you better help us again and send out those stimulus checks. That's all I got to say about that.